Alright, hey, what's up, guys? I just want to make a quick video because I just had a really great conversation with a few like minded people inside of the store. And yeah, so this is the time, and this has been on my mind a little bit since last night when I watched Melanin Code. Big ups to Boyce Watkins for hosting the Black Movie Night. If you want to watch it, go to blackmovienight.net. They have two more coming up in the next few months. Definitely go ahead and tune in. It's great production. Last night's feature film was The Melanin Code. I remember the guy's name was Marcus. I sincerely apologize. I forget what his last name is. But if you go to themelaниncode.com, you can find the movie there, and it's really great. It's all about circulating the black dollar and the 9 different ways that the black people are being repressed and confused as far as their communications and things goes. So I was just in the store. I was just in the African store. I'm over here by Congress and Cicero right now, and I love my people so much, because no matter how frustrated I get, this is the second black owned business that I've been in today. And unlike the first, where everyone's kind of just, consuming to buy things, there are people who are in this particular store and they are consuming in order to go back and redistribute and circulate the black dollar. And we got to talking about how COVID-19, this pandemic, this virus, this pause time, whatever you want to call it, is the perfect time for the black community to rise up economically, and circulate the black dollar even more. If they're not black, you should not be giving them your money. Now, I say this as I have unfortunately made the rushed error of moving out of an all-black community into a suburb, and paying a landlord who I don't even know what the ethnicity is, but it's predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, and there's nothing against brown people, like brown and black people. We're all in the same boat. However, it's one of those things where we're talking in store, and it's like, brown people, Hispanic people in their family, they know 2 languages right off the bat, and they might have at least 3 trades. Whereas black people tend to only have 1 language, most likely don't have a trade, and everyone right now is looking for a handout. Everybody wants to simply sit back and receive something, right, without doing any work. And it's like, you have the same 24 hours in a day, you have the same access to information, aka the internet, aka Google, and you can go ahead and create and manifest whatever it is that you desire. And so I was asking in the store, as I've been getting a lot of flack from people and keep hearing the word reciprocity, and this was actually brought up in a very interesting way in the Melanin Code. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was brought up towards the end of the movie, and definitely did hit a touch point, because I could tell that the way in which the word had been floated towards me a few times was kind of in the same manner that it was discussed in the movie. And so I asked, since I'm in this beautiful space right now, we're having this conversation, I would very much like to know, what is it that I can do to reciprocate, since I no longer have the resources that I once had a year, 6 months, 3-4 years ago. And the number one thing that all of my counterparts said was, if you don't have the physical resources, if you don't have the financial resources, the number one resource that you do have, that we all tend to underestimate, is you have the knowledge base. Go back, find the documents and things that you had, and begin to create content and material and teach your people. Because we talked about how we as black people tend not to listen to those who we determined to be contradictory. Meaning, if you are someone who walks differently than you talk, we will not listen to you. And the example that was brought to mind was the fact that, Tupac's mother is Afeni Shakur, who was a Black Panther. And we got into the discussion. I was like, I did an entire paper about Tupac. And even though I knew that, his mother was Afeni Shakur, it was very interesting the path that he took and how he kind of came back full circle. And the thing that was brought up as we were in this conversation was that, Afeni, before she was pregnant with Tupac, was within the Black Panthers and, very pro-Black and doing all of these things. However, at the time that her son was growing up, what she stood for, what she was teaching him, and what she was doing were so juxtaposed that he would not listen to her. Even though he had the education, he had the opportunities, he had this role model here within his household, what he saw, because it did not match up with what he was being told, he nixed it. Right? And it was not until towards his late albums that he started to, have a better comprehension and viewpoint and things of that nature. And so the main thing that I took from that was this is the time to, if you don't really know your intuition, get to know it a lot better, trust it. Don't make impulsive decisions right now. This is the time of rationality and logic. This is the time of unity as a people. However, unity as a people does not mean, if we're in competition, and this was another thing that was kind of touched on in the Melanin Code as well, there's only so much shea butter and sea moss and just like hand soaps and things that you can buy as Black people. Like, you need to get together with other people, pool your monies and resources, create manufacturing companies, in order to create your product on a wider scale. And then from there, you can all succeed, as opposed to, how did you get it that thick? How do you do this? How do you, these little things? It's like, no one's going to give you the blueprint to what it is that they've done, because they had to go and look up that information and put in the time and effort to research it. So if you yourself are not willing to do that work, or at least learn in the same capacity, or at least pay for those resources, there's no such thing as free. We need to stop ripping off our own people, saying, we expect this of you, and so on and so forth. You don't get to expect anything, right? That same thing goes with the bartering system. If you cannot do fair trade with items, then it is not, it's not feasible to expect that you're going to be able to receive anything. And I know there's a lot of fear and everything else going on, and I really just need to say I am very pro reciprocation. I am pro bartering. I am pro circulating the Black dollar at all times. However, there are certain ways that you go about communicating things and saying things. How you talk to people is so much more important than what you say, because you can say something that it could be so cutthroat, but if you say it with the sweetest tone of honey to it, people will listen, right? So there's that, and I just wanted to put that out there and let it be known that, you don't have to go to extreme lengths in order to come up right now. You don't have to spend a ton of money in order to make your business. There are a lot of white businesses that are shutting down. There's a lot of money being given out to small businesses right now. But as you can see, when places like fucking Steak and Shake are receiving small business loans and Harvard's getting fucking stimulus checks, there's something still wrong right now. Okay, so as Black people, we really need to just rise up, do the work. We don't need to work for anyone. We can and are already our own bosses. We'd have all the tools, all the knowledge. We really just need to band together. That's really all I got. Love you guys. Peace.